And it was,
Hi, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another episode of Young and Gifted. I hope all the viewers are well. Today I'm joined by my co-host this evening, Mr. Malik Shakil. Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Assalamu alaikum, I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, very well. Today we're dealing with quite a sensitive subject. It's a very sensitive topic, and it's a topic that affects all of us. It's about death. Now, obviously, as we're all aware, we're all going to have to taste death once in our lifetime. Now, what happens in the unfortunate circumstance that you're terminally ill, you don't have any friends, you don't have any family, you don't have any relatives, or let's just say you're a revert to Islam and your family disown you. What happens in that circumstance? Because obviously, this can be a very lonely and a very scary time. So today we've got with us a couple of brothers from a charity known as End of Life Support. They're a very new charity. They're in the process of being registered. And to my right, I have brother Abu Mumin, who's a volunteer in the organization. And to my left, I have brother Moshin Uddin. Wa alaikum salam. How are you both today?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Yes.
Thank you very much for inviting us.
No, it's our pleasure having you on here. Yeah.
Right, brothers, can you tell us a bit about this End of the Life charity work and what it is and what is it that you exactly do?
Okay. Well, just a slight correction. End of Life is one of our program. The organization is called 13 Rivers.
Okay.
Sorry, what did you say the organization?
13 Rivers Trust.
13 Rivers.
13
Rivers Trust.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's got a number of programs. So End of Life is one of our programs, which we've been working just under a year now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically provide support to sick people. We visit, our volunteers visit people who are end of life really,
Mm-hmm.
who don't have much to live. We go and visit them, keep them company, and that's about it really.
Right.
What does your charity aim to do exactly? If you can just elaborate on that a little bit.
Can I just start on just the earlier point?
Sure.
For me, the story started with my mother dying 2 years ago.
No,
She
no,
died
no,
on
no.
January 13th, 2013.
Okay.
Only a few days ago, 2 years.
Yeah.
And when she was unwell, she was in and out of hospital for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to go and see her every other day, or every day really. And we noticed and realized that there were a lot of sick people in hospital. Muslims, non-Muslims, Bangladeshis, non-Bangladeshis. And we used to go and see them, meet them. My mother used to encourage us to go and give them some food as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they used to feel happy. So when my mother died, for me, that was a moment that I was going to do something that was going to be pleasing to my mum and was going to help her with Sadaqah Jariyah. I started volunteering, and I met my brother Peter Chatfield,
Mm-hmm.
that we'll talk about.
Of course.
And we visited him for quite a long time, about 6 months, until he passed away. He had cancer. So for me, it's a personal story.
Sure.
Of helping people on a personal day-to-day basis without judging them.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
I mean, tell us a little bit more about Eden Care. I mean, where does Eden Care, where did it come about from? How long has it been around? And 13 Rivers Trust, that's obviously something that you're involved in as well. How do those two relate with each other, and what are the functions of each of those?
I'll do Eden Care.
Sure.
Eden Care is the qualitative side of visiting people who are critically ill or people who have been diagnosed as dying. They're on palliative care. Terminally ill and dying.
Sure.
And what we do is all the volunteers are recruited, they're DBS checked, they're reference checked, and they're interviewed.
Mm-hmm.
So they're vetted really to go in and hospitals and hospice.
Sure.
Anybody just can't walk in.
Sure.
And what we do is we accept referrals.
Mm-hmm.
So family members can call us
Mm-hmm.
and say, we want you to go and visit somebody that we know who's not well.
Yep.
They could be Muslims or non-Muslims. And Eden Care provides this very technical service, like Maria Kelly,
Yeah.
like Age Concern UK.
Sure, sure.
We're working towards developing this program, make it watertight in terms of systems and processes, so the vulnerable people are not exploited, not taken advantage of. So that's in a nutshell what Eden Care is about. Within the Muslim Bangladeshi community, we have very little. We kind of celebrate life.
Mm-hmm.
We celebrate, when somebody's born, we're happy. When somebody gets married, we're happy.
Yeah, yeah.
But on the other hand, on the other side, we have children who fall ill, who are dying. Our parents who fall ill and dying, and also the vulnerable within our community, the people we don't know about, and we try to go and meet them, visit them, make them smile, make them happy.
Nice.
Sure. So
Okay.
that was Eden Care. Now, Baisal, tell us about 13 Rivers Trust.
Okay. Well, 13 Rivers, I mean, if I can share my, how I got involved with 13 Rivers and how did I come about. Just like Abu Bai shared his experience, my involvement was about more than a year ago. My father, he was seriously ill in the hospital. And this is when basically I left my other work, and for me that time, he was my priority. Especially being, I have a brother who lives much further away, but in here I was the only one who could actually go regularly. So 13 Rivers basically came is everybody from the management to volunteers, everybody have a story to tell why 13 Rivers idea came about.
Sure.
So if I can give you a bit of 13 Rivers history.
No, of course, please do.
Yeah,
Please.
why this name came about is, it was, you probably know some of our mothers and uncles and fathers may have told you, Bangladesh village, kita 7 সমুদ্র 13 নদী ফলে আমরা আইছি, from Bangladesh to England. Okay. So this is where the idea came about, the name came about. And it's a unique service we wanted to do mainly for our elder generation.
Sure.
Although younger generation, of course, benefiting from it. So that was the idea how 13 Rivers came about. For me, after my father was seriously ill and he had kidney failures, this is when I realized, there's so much needs to be done in terms of care, end of life support.
Baisal, would you mind waiting while we just take a call?
Sure,
I think we've got our first caller on the line. Hi, assalamu alaikum caller.
Wa alaikum salam.
You're live on the air on Young and Gifted. What's your name and where you're calling from?
I'd like to remain anonymous if that's okay, but I just like to congratulate obviously you both for doing a wonderful job bringing about a wonderful topic. Can I just ask your guest, inshallah, some questions?
Yeah, absolutely. Fire away.
Yeah, so first question for Abu Bai. Assalamu alaikum. I'm one of your virtual friends on Facebook. We have met in person as well, so I'm not talking or anything, inshallah. But just a quick question, inshallah. Obviously, going through like a terminal illness is tough for anybody. And it's even more tough, I guess, when you're having to face this alone. Now, when you were meeting, for example, Peter Chatfield or any of the other brothers or sisters who are maybe going through this stage of life on their own, what was their sort of initial reaction to obviously, sort of strangers in a way coming forward, offering them assistance, and how appreciative, I guess, were they of your support?
Very good question, brother. What we try to do, we try to develop a natural friendship. So with Peter Chatfield that you've mentioned, and there are others, we have female volunteers like Sister Sharifa and others. It's a natural, sincere, genuine wanting to help and build friendship. Someone like Peter Chatfield, he had around about 1,500 people visit him in the hospital. But then when I went, I was consistent, I was regular, I would take him food. And it's not just me, many others would do the same. Okay. And from that 1,500, a few people became close to him. So he gave me the responsibility to organize his burial.
Okay.
So with my own mom, when she died, I kind of said, okay, when we went to the burial ground, I said, oh, that's a bit scary. Because we're not used to burying, we're not used to seeing sick people until it comes and happens to us.
Absolutely.
So he asked me, so when he died, first time ever in my life, I washed a dead body, and it was Peter Chatfield's dead body.
Sure.
And I initially freaked out. Yeah. But one thing I remember, the Garden of Peace, Brother Omar said, he said, wash the body as if a mother would wash her newborn baby, in a gentle, beautiful way, because you give him that wash, you put the perfume on, because he will be raised like that on the Day of Judgment in front of God. He made me love, in terms of the spiritual level, I went in another level. Then after that, I went inside the grave.
Sure.
Never done that before.
Yeah.
Took his body down. So it's all natural, it's not fake. So we look for natural, genuine people to come and volunteer for us.
Sure.
That's why, the vetting process is very important.
Absolutely.
So
I
if
think
it
the brother asked as well, what the appreciation is from the people you're helping. Like, how does that come about? What have they said?
It's a natural thing. So me and Peter, times of good. When he was going through pain, he had cancer. He was going through a lot of pain. So he was angry, frustrated, like a brother and sister would do. So he had to go at me. I tried to understand.
How did this relationship with Peter Chapman come about? Sorry.
I went to visit him.
Oh, just randomly at the hospital?
No. I made it my life mission that after my mother passed away, I was going to do something like this.
Oh, right. And it was on one of these visits you bumped into Peter Chapman?
No, I knew about him through social media.
Right.
That's why I keep an eye on social media a lot.
Right.
That's why I'm probably active.
Sure.
So I learned about him and others, and I went.
Can we just take the time to just watch a video clip that you have very kindly provided in terms of what it is that you do, just so that our viewers can see just what it is that you do. If you give us a moment, the video clip will just be playing.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. I'd just like to thank you all for all the support you gave me whilst I'm going through the last throes of my life. All I can say to you, I will make dua for you, and thank you for your support, and thank you for your love and devotion. as you can see, it's Peter Saeed Islam or Peter Chatfield. A lot of you came and see me at the hospital. Well, I'm still here, as you can see. Things aren't great, but a day at a time, I've been gifted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is
You've just seen a video clip of what these gentlemen do. Now, just picking up from the video, just a couple of case studies. For example, Mrs. Islam. That we had a very brief discussion earlier about that, and you told me it was a very sad case. Tell me a little bit more about Mrs. Islam.
Mrs. Islam is a Bangladeshi sister who lived in a care home alone. She doesn't have any family members in the UK.
Sure.
And it was only the neighbours' children who, it's a long story, they saw her in a dream, and they went to visit her, and they realised she passed away. We helped raise funds, and I decided, that was fresh in my head when my mum died, so I decided, since I've raised a lot of money, you know, Jazakallah khair to all the brothers and sisters who donated, and so I decided to go to the funeral prayer. So when Alhamdulillah, in Islam Mosque, you get lots of people, you feel good. Then I thought, okay, I'm going to go to her burial. And I realized that only a few people, handful of people went to her burial. And I helped bury her.
Sure.
You know, and what we do is, we do sadqa jariyah. We do good deeds all the time.
Yeah.
So recently, one of the things we did with all our Facebook friends and all our family and friends, we did a khatam, online khatam. Of the Quran.
Would you mind if we just took a call?
Of course.
Yeah. Hello?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, caller.
Yes, it's just the first caller back again, inshallah, just to harass you guys even more, inshallah.
No, carry on.
But just a quick question with regards to Mrs. Islam that Brother Abu was just mentioning. Now, obviously, this is a Bengali lady, a Muslim lady, who happened to sort of live her last years of her life in a care home. Now, that topic is in a way, it's a bit of a taboo. You never hear of Bengali women or Muslim women or men being sent to care homes by their children. I just wanted to ask Brother Abu, or maybe the other brother who's with him, is he finding this to be like a common scenario where even Muslims nowadays are sending their parents to care homes and probably forgetting about them until a later stage, or because this is something which is known to other communities, but not really in a Muslim household?
Can I share this?
Brother Mohsin.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. If I could share my experience, especially in the last 1 year, until I got involved with this work, I didn't actually realize how serious this issue was in our community. And in my experience, what I found, there are a lot of uncles and chassis and chassas. Their last days, they don't actually have anybody to even keep them company.
It's very sad.
If you go to some of the care homes in Tower Hamlets and other areas, and you'll actually find there are a lot of old people. Some of them, they haven't had visits for maybe days and weeks, and some of them there are genuine problems. That, there are some people, their sons are grown up, they have their work, they have their families, and there are some, I had to say this, but there are a lot of brothers within our community or sisters, they are not actually taking care of them. They think it's okay. They think the system is looking after them. Right. But the system is actually providing very, very minimum service. So yes, it was a shocking thing for us, for me. As Muslim, we don't think about that. Sure. We think, especially Bangladeshis, most of us are quite close families, but there are others, they don't have that close family relation.
Sure.
Some families, they don't even know where their children are.
Yeah.
Can I just butt in?
No.
So I agree to some extent with my colleague, and I disagree because we're dealing with one client right now who needed to be safeguarded from her family and be put in care.
Wow.
We went to visit her only this Friday.
Mm-hmm.
She's come to a stage of her life where they are developing an end-of-life plan.
Sure.
So they're consulting us.
Yeah.
Bangladeshi sister who's 23 years of age, who's dying.
Right.
That's a reality. A lot of people are dying, and we just don't want to know about death or talk about death. We're looking for volunteers to go and visit that sister.
Yeah.
So if anybody who's listening from Southend area,
Wow.
Colchester area,
Clacton-on-Sea.
that area, please call us.
I mean, any volunteers. I mean, and I'll put this out to all of our viewers. Anybody that is looking to help in this kind of work, please do call into our show on 0203 397 4740. You can speak to these brothers, find out a little bit more about what they do. Alternatively, you can visit their Facebook page, which is End of Life Support. Is that correct on Facebook?
That's correct.
You can visit their Facebook page. I don't know if you're on Twitter or anything. Are you guys on Twitter?
No.
No. Okay. I mean, any other social media? I mean, any email addresses that they can contact you on? Anybody that wants to find out a little bit more about this or get involved in this, how would they reach you other than Facebook?
EdenCare01 at gmail.com.
Okay, so that's EdenCare01 at gmail.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, inshallah. Our number is 0203 397 4740. Please do feel free to call in.
Can I just also butt in? It's another important point.
No, sure.
About the way it's looking. When somebody is terminally ill, a lot of families don't have this, they live in overcrowding conditions, they don't have the right equipment, so the family member needs to go into care home.
Yeah.
The care home needs to be culturally inclusive.
Yeah.
So the last moments of their life, there are appropriate services. So one of the examples I gave when my mum...
Sure. What I'll do, sorry to cut in there. I mean, we are going to go to a short commercial break now. Inshallah, as soon as we come back, we will carry on discussing that. We'll catch you on the other side. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome back to the second segment of Young and Gifted, where we've got the brothers from Eden Care and 13 Rivers Trust with us. Just before the break, we were talking about care homes, and brother Abu Mumin was telling us about the issue regarding care homes. Brother, if you'd just like to carry on.
Yeah, what I was saying, a lot of people who fall and become critically ill, the home isn't equipped to address their needs.
Sure.
So what they need to do, they need to go into hospitals or they need to go to care homes.
Sure. So I mean, obviously, because a lot of Bengali people become under the impression that if you send somebody to a care home, it's automatically you're just trying to get them out of your life, and you're trying to get the system to look after that person. But the point that you're making is that that's not necessarily the case. Sometimes you can't provide the level of care required in your home, so that's why you have to put that person into a care home.
Yeah, and it's not because children don't love their parents.
Sure.
It's because they have to.
Sure.
The other point is now the cost of living in London is really high. So both husbands and wife, they need to go to work. Who's going to take care of the critically ill person? What we need to do is ensure that there is culturally inclusive service. And I was explaining, my mother was in the ICU in Rolando Hospital, and she needed to change her paddings.
Sure.
2 male nurses came to give her a full wash. I wasn't having it. Why should in Royal London Hospital, they know that there's a lot of Bangladeshis and a lot of Muslims, should they be doing this? But we are not taking interest. What my observation shows, we are letting others set the agenda.
Sure.
It's good that they're setting agenda, but they need to hear the community's views. And this is why I got involved with End of Life Support and Eden Care.
Sure.
Okay, we've heard quite a bit about the End of Life Support and Eden Care itself. We've not heard much about yourselves. So what is your roles within this organisation, and what are your roles outside of this organisation as well? If we start with you first, bro.
Well, with 13 Rivers Trust, I'm one of the management. In terms of organizing meetings, trainings, so I'm more involved with that. We have an office in Great Torek Street E1. So I also manage the office as well.
because you're
Yeah,
in charge
so
of your management.
that's right,
Yeah.
yeah.
For this.
And also help out as much as I can voluntarily in terms of field work.
Okay.
Sure.
Outside 13 Rivers, I do have a daytime job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm part of a construction company,
Sure.
which we also have in Tower Hamlets.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
So in the daytime, I'm quite busy with
Yeah.
our regular work.
Okay, so this is around your daytime
Yeah,
job.
That's
I
right.
was going to say this is quite impressive because
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
you've got a full-time job,
Yeah.
and mashallah, you're doing this on the side
That's
as well.
right.
That's very
That's-
impressive.
And then we have I have youth work as well. You know, we do a lot of youth work
Sure.
in
sure,
Tower
sure.
Hamlets.
Okay,
Okay.
fantastic.
So,
And
yeah.
yourself?
I'm a social worker by profession.
Right.
I am involved in business.
Okay.
I do this as a volunteer for Eden Care and End of Life. And at the moment, quite heavily involved in writing a book
Right. Okay.
on gangs.
Okay. Okay. In East London.
I can't say anymore.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
right.
Fair enough. Fair
This
enough.
is through your social work.
Keep our viewers tuned in for your book.
I was
inshallah.
involved in gangs at
Oh,
once upon a time.
okay. So
Okay.
this is a bit of personal experience we have here. Okay.
Nice,
That's
nice, nice. So, I mean, so far through these charities, how many people would you say you've been able to help so far?
Well, we helped. You know, in 1 year we I think
Because
we helped
you've
about-
only been about for a year, haven't
yeah,
you?
we helped 15 people in terms of end of life.
Oh, mashallah.
And for burial, I think we helped 8 people, 8 funerals.
Right. So 8 funerals. And
Yeah,
about 50 people.
that's
And
right.
Under a year. All of
Yeah,
this.
under a year. Yeah,
And
it's mainly happen. You know, when you form a new company, first few months it's just organizing everything. So it's mainly in the last sort of 4 or 5 months.
So when
We've
you
been
say
very active.
you've helped 15 people at the end of life,
Yeah.
that's you know, the terminally ill or the sick or the people that don't have anybody. You go and offer them support.
Yeah.
You know, mentally,
That's right.
you know, emotionally. What is it that you
That's
do?
why our volunteers, like Abu Mu'min and some of our volunteers, I went a few times as well. You know, sometimes people just need a bit of socializing.
Sure.
So you go and see them, keep them company, have a bit of conversation.
Basically, if I can just
Yeah.
take a call,
Yeah,
and then
sure.
we'll come back to that immediately. Hi, assalamu alaikum caller.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. What's your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Jenny. I just had a question for the gentleman there. With the work they do, I just want to know what was the most difficult thing for them in terms of family support. Do they face criticism from family when they're helping reverts?
Sure. I mean, did you get the question that the sister just asked in relation to, do you often face criticism or difficulties from the families of the people that you're trying to help?
Some of the families are very cooperative. I've mentioned Peter Chatfield, me, some of us, myself, Hamida, Ahad, Amdad, I can mention all of them.
Right.
We became very close with Samantha. She's probably watching.
Sure.
If she's watching, please call in. We become very close.
Yeah.
She's had a first-time exposure to Muslims and Bangladeshis, and she watches on TV and the media. She doesn't see that, I hope, within the Muslim community. And I think also with Sharifa, if Karima is watching, mother is in Saudi Arabia now, they became very close. So their families gave us permission to bury them as Muslims.
Sure, mashallah.
On the other hand, there have been others. There was one particular person, he was on the video, that his family did not, he was a Muslim, his family did not give him permission to have a Muslim burial. What we did, we tried our best. We said that we'll raise the burial cost. They still didn't give us a permission, so we had janaza, funeral prayer in his absence.
Right.
And there are others. So one of the services that we provide is we provide a statutory declaration.
Yeah.
So if somebody becomes a Muslim and they're worried that their family will bury them as a Christian or Hindu, we help them, provide this service absolutely free.
Sure.
That ensures they are buried according to their wishes, according to their faith. And just to give you a stat, a lot of the times 77.7% of the people who die in the UK have a cremation.
Wow, 77%?
That's correct.
That is
77.
very high.
Very high.
From 30% in the 1960s to now is 77.7%. that is a preferred option because it's easier, cheaper. But what we want to do is keep up with the Abrahamic tradition. We want to keep up with the burial.
Yeah.
But that is increasing significantly. And what we try to do, the most needy, we try to help them. Just in Gardens of Peace alone, there are about 200 people who are unknown, who have been buried as unknown.
Wow.
These are student community, travelers, reverts, and we try to go and help them.
Wow, mashallah, mashallah.
Can I just add something to what it says? And I was quite shocked until I got involved and realized that there are so many people dying and they don't even have the funds available for the funeral. So when they die, you know, there's no one there to help them. And then you have other other people who could be like overstayers coming here, and then they have no families and relatives.
Yeah.
The mosque, they can't always cater for everybody because it's quite expensive.
Sure.
So it is a serious issue.
If we could just take another call. Hello, Assalamu alaikum caller, you're through to Young and Gifted.
Welcome.
Walaikum assalam.
What's your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Justna and I'm calling from Shadwell.
Okay, what would you like to say to the brothers here just now?
Just a quick comment, just to say Jazakallah khairun for this introducing this program to us. It's a very important subject. And also to add that the brother Abu Bai and Brother Mohsin are dealing with a very, very delicate issue where the recipient of this service will be used by the most vulnerable people at time. Also an important time to get the right support in place.
Sure.
As well as for the patients, as well as for the family. And I'm not aware of any other services like that at this point anywhere in the UK.
And this is what
may Allah accept their hard work and good deeds.
Mashallah.
And also it's about time someone from our Muslim community stood up and set up something for the most vulnerable. As Abu Bai said, a lot of these elderly members in our community have offered us so many services, they've put in place a lot of things that we are taking a lot of things in liberty. When they came to these countries in the 60s and 70s, they had a hard life. They had language barriers, but they still managed to have great community centers, mosques, and a lot of the services that we are using today. So I think it's about time our generation do something for the elders, as well as the revert community.
Justna, thank you very much for your call. Is there any other particular questions that you would like to ask Brother Mohsin or Brother Abu?
Okay, I'll ask a quick question to either of them can answer.
Yeah, of course.
Dealing with, as you're working with a lot of reverts, meaning new Muslims, what do you find, what sort of expectation or experience do you find from the families of those reverts? For example, if a new revert brother or sister was to pass away, what sort of reaction or support or comments would you get from the family members?
Justna, thank you very much for your question. It's much appreciated. I'll get the brothers to answer it for you.
Okay, then.
Thank you very much. Walaikum salam. I think this kind of overlaps with what you said a moment ago from our previous caller, Jenny, who was asking what sort of criticisms have you faced from families, and I think Sister Justna just asked a very similar sort of thing. So I mean, you have pretty much answered that already.
If I could answer, so one of the sisters that we buried, all her family members were Christian. So myself and Sister Karima and her family, we had to be very sensitive because the sister who passed away had some wishes. We had to maintain that wish, and plus we had to maintain the wishes of the family. So we sat down and explained to them the process of washing the body, the funeral prayer, the burial requirement in terms of, male, female issue there. We try to accommodate the family, female members near to the grave. And one of the things we did, we spent time explaining after the burial. We spent time with the family members.
If we can just take another call just now. Hello, Assalamu alaikum caller, you're through to Young and Gifted.
Hello.
Hi, Assalamu alaikum. Sorry, can you put the TV volume down a bit, please?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi, can you put the TV volume down a little bit, please?
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you put the TV volume down a little bit, please?
I'm trying to put the. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Hello.
We we can hear you loud and clear. You have to put the TV volume down, otherwise we won't be able to hear you.
I'm Mrs. Edwards.
Mrs. Edwards, how are you?
Yes. My name is Mrs. Edwards. I work for a care home.
Okay.
And I'm one of the carers, because I was just listening to one of your brothers saying that when his mother was in the hospital, he was quite surprised to find that 2 male carers were coming to wash his mother.
That's correct.
Yes.
That's correct.
Brother Mumin.
So yeah, Brother Abu Mumin was saying that. What would you like to add to that?
But if he didn't want that, he should have written down on the mother's care plan saying that I don't want 2 male carers to wash or to do personal care for my mother, that they want 2 female carers. So why didn't he do that?
Sure.
Shall I respond?
Yeah, of course.
We did. We've said she needs halal food. We made it very clear that she needs to be
the
taken.
hospital are so short of staff, you can't pick and choose to whom you want to do personal care, male or female.
This is the point. Emergency care, that's fine. When it comes to nurses, it's all about planning. Because our community is not engaged, you have this sort of attitude. With, let's say, other communities like the Jewish communities,
Sure.
Yes.
their care plan is really spot on. We have to take example from them. Why should our mothers and our sisters or brothers or fathers who are dying, why should we not honor them during the end of their life, plus give them clinical care? Not humiliate them, not give them haram food. This is we need to be sensitive on these issues.
Mrs. Edwards, is there anything else that you'd like to add to that?
No, thank you. No, that's okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your call.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry. It was an interesting call. She works in a care home, so yeah. Oh, sorry, Shax, I thought you were trying to say something.
No, I was just saying that she did make a point of, obviously.
Within the care plan, there are provisions
Yeah.
to look at people's race, care, faith. One of the cases I mentioned earlier that I traveled all the way to outside of London.
Yeah.
Don't want to mention the town
Sure.
because of confidentiality
Yeah, no, of course,
issue.
we appreciate that.
The reason the care manager, the center manager, called us so that they were worried if this young person dies, how will they accommodate the burial needs of that person?
Yeah.
So the care centers, the hospitals have a duty of care to their patients, and not if it's only an emergency, we're not saying anything.
So if I go to the next question now, obviously we have asked you whether you faced any criticism from families, and you've obviously said yes you have. How do you overcome this? How do you come to some kind of an agreement with them, or has there been times where you just haven't been able to agree with the families of reverts, in order to grant their wishes, or something like that?
Well, I think Abu Bhai answered something like that earlier. It's all about building a natural relationship.
Sure.
Of course, we are providing a voluntary service. So if a family does have an issue, us getting involved, we won't go in there and try to, we are not a service provided by government or anything.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
It's all about providing natural service. It is a difficult time for the family.
Of course.
So we provide, sort of assistance.
Sure.
If somebody doesn't want our service, we don't need to get involved.
Sure. If I can just get onto our next caller, please.
Hello.
Hi, Assalamu alaikum caller. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Walaikum salam. My name is Saiful Alam. I'm calling from East London.
Saiful, it's lovely to have you on our show. What would you like to say to our guests?
I just wanted to basically give my comment on the initiative that Abu Bhai and his colleagues have introduced in the community. I think it's the first of its kind, to be honest. There's no any other organization that I've come across that is meeting the needs of the Muslim community and non-Muslim community, and it's something that we should all try to encourage and, support, because I know that if it was someone within our family that needed that support, we would be eager to cry out for this kind of support.
Absolutely.
Because not necessarily in every hospital we can accommodate our parents or our neighbors that are suffering, and this kind of support being available, you will only realize when it comes to yourself that you really, really appreciate it. I would encourage any callers that are listening to this program, we should try to volunteer, utilize our skills, knowledge, experience, marketing, this kind of support, because in the long run we will all face unfortunately situations where we will have to bury our parents, and this support is a blessing in disguise that has come to us, and we should really put focus on this kind of support and get involved. I myself will be contacting organizations
mashallah,
time to use my support as well.
Do you know, thank you for brother, thank you very much for your call
on the program.
Thank you very much for your call. That's sincerely appreciated. Well, brothers, you heard it here. The brother that just called, he wants to assist you guys, in the work that you're doing. And I think a lot of the callers are saying the same thing, in the sense that they've not come across this.
Do you must be aware of people that are doing similar things? Are you aware of anybody doing a similar service to what you're doing in our Bengali community, for Muslims and non-Muslims?
Well, as far as I'm aware, there are mainstream organizations providing this sort of thing, but in terms of for Muslim or Bangladeshi community, we are not aware of any other organization providing this unique service.
Sure.
Okay, so you are very new.
We are very new.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I haven't. That was, I have to say, that was a very touching call by the brother just now.
Yes.
That was very nice of him to call up and say that. I personally haven't come across, this kind of organization before. And the brother, did actually say, if there's anybody, like web designers or whatever, anybody that can help you, because you're obviously a charitable organization. I mean, I think from our sponsors, Blakewell Solicitors, I think they would be willing to help you if there was any legal issues or anything that you wanted to look at from that point of view. I think our sponsors would be happy to help you there. Now, I mean, going back to the questions, what's the biggest hurdle that you faced? I mean, I recall Brother Moshin saying that it's taken you about 6 months to try and register your company as a charity. What's going on there? Why is it taking such a long time?
The Charity Commissioner, they have made things very difficult, and I think especially for Muslims, so they made things very difficult. So that is one of the hurdles, government policies. The other one is also getting people involved.
Do you think, when you say government policies, do you think it's specifically aimed at this Muslim company or a charity, or do you think it's...
officially, obviously, I can't say, but we feel it's like that.
Sure.
We feel, especially recently, what's been going on.
Give me an example of something that's made you feel like that.
Well, some of the questions, in terms of, and I think it's just taking very long time. We have made the application a long time ago.
Sure.
The process seems just taking a long time, where before I was involved with charities before, it was much easier. So to an extent I can understand.
Has the legislation changed recently, or?
I believe so. I think some of the legislation, because they are, especially after recently some of the things have been coming in the media, they have tightened things
making it more difficult.
Making it more difficult. Sure. So to an extent I can understand. But for a genuine organization, it is making things difficult.
And how close are you to being registered as a charity now?
I don't think we have. It's been a few months now. We've been waiting. So
it's going to take a while, but it's okay. Because what we want to do is about caring for the most needy. So to care for the most needy, you need to have your systems and processes. I take the view, and as I'm a social worker, I take the view that you don't want to do a bad job. You want to do a good job. And your systems and your processes have to be good.
Sure.
And it's not, the volunteers that we want is, we don't want people who just want to wake up one morning and feel like going. It's not your soup kitchen. This is somebody who's very unwell. You commit 2 hours a week to go and visit them and smile at them, give them a meaningful experience for 6 months, for a year, until they pass away.
Sure, no problem. Brother, we will just be going on a short break now. Inshallah, when we come back, we will continue discussing the point that you were on. Inshallah, we'll catch you on the other side. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Young and Gifted. Today we're sat here with Mumin Bhai and Mohsin Bhai from the End of Life Support Work. Now, we've just been discussing the hurdles they are facing with the organisation and a few of the drawbacks. So now we'd like to hear something a bit more positive. So, the brothers, can you please tell us what's the most rewarding part about this job and what you've been doing? What's the most rewarding part? What do you get out of it?
Helping people,
right,
in their hour of need,
okay,
and also helping people being buried, raising the money at their again the time of need. It's a big reward according to our Muslim faith, and it's a duty on some people. So we are fulfilling a duty, okay, and we it's hard as well. There had been moments I've been crying a lot. I mean, as a man, it's not a macho thing, but it's a reality.
Right.
So and really helping the families of those who've passed away during that very difficult time.
Sure. Would you say it's similar for you, the rewarding factor?
Yeah, similar situations, to be able to help people. I had my experiences when one of my uncle passed away, and that time I realized how difficult it is for the family. Then when my father got seriously ill, I had my family's relatives, they coming, and then I realized, time of need is very important to have people around you who understand and who can give you this comfort. So when we help people, and for me that is the most rewarding thing, yes, we are sacrificing a lot of our time, but time, in the akhirah we'll get this.
No, of course.
Using your time in a positive manner.
Of course, and it's something you'll get in the hereafter. So being able to help people and also the reward from Allah, this is what I find is most rewarding.
Sure. So it's spiritually fulfilling for you.
Yeah.
As well.
Can I also add, our services is not, as I understand, it's not exclusively for Muslims of Bangladesh.
Sure.
Our service is for everyone, even non-Muslims. If they want our volunteers to go and visit, we'll arrange that. We'll try our best to do that for them.
Tell me, in what direction are you trying to take, Eden Care and 13 Rivers Trust and this whole end of life support? I mean, are you trying to make it bigger, or do you just want to stick to East London, or the Bengali? Well, you've just said it's not exclusively for Bengalis or Muslims. So, what direction are you trying to take this in, and what do you hope to achieve with it?
Okay, as it stands, just let's say Tower Hamlets. We're based in Tower Hamlets or Newham. Okay. Every local authority has to develop a end-of-life plan. In Tower Hamlets alone, last year over 1,800 people passed away.
Sure.
Of them, let's say Bangladeshis 700, Muslims 1,000. We need to be part of developing the end-of-life strategy. At this very moment in time, my question is, do we have people going and contributing?
Sure.
Or are we being told this is how it should be developed? We are just touching the surface right now. So we're going to be doing befriending, I hope. We need to go into end-of-life clinic, where people go and die. We've heard of stories where somebody, for example, Muslim who's dying, and they've got a bit of music. Right? What happens when somebody dies? What do you do? Let's say Bangladeshi Muslim faith. What do you do?
Recitation.
You recite Quran.
That's right,
So one of the strategies could be, if somebody is dying from that faith, play a bit of Quran, not music.
Sure. Wow. Someone play music?
Well, this happens.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is.
So also, artwork. You've seen the lovely Royal London Hospital. It's really making the environment right. We are not contributing, so they're going to guess what they want from us. So we have a long way to go. We want to develop
Are you working with any local authorities right now?
We are trying to work with different local authorities. We are meeting our partners. We're new. So one of the things we want to do is look at creating a Bangladeshi stroke Muslim hospice, not exclusively for that community. We'll accommodate others, as well, other faiths,
Yeah.
but we want to have a hospice where murabbis, elderly people who are dying, we want to support them. But that's our wish. That could probably happen in 15 years' time.
You want to make it culturally and religiously more relevant, and
Yeah.
I would say to our callers, our telephone number is on the bottom of the screen. It is 0203 397 4740. Please do call in. I mean, these brothers, they're doing, mashallah, an amazing thing. And as pretty much all of the callers have said, this isn't something that we've come across before in the Bengali, in the Muslim or the Bengali community, and it is a very touching thing. And obviously, a lot of people require their assistance because, as the brother said, there are a lot of people out there that are passing away without any family, friends, relatives. I mean, how would we feel if we had nobody and there was nobody there assisting us, when we were terminally ill, God forbid, or, when we were passing away? And, mashallah, it's a very touching thing that you guys are doing. And I genuinely wish you, all the best in making it.
Can I add something to our viewers?
No, of course you can.
I mean, our appeal to our viewers is, please do get in touch with us. It is a voluntary organization. We need as much as help we can. And also the donations.
Sure.
You can get in touch with us, and we are also shortage of funds.
Sure.
The more funds we have, we can help more people.
Okay.
And
how can they get in touch with you to provide funds?
Yeah.
What channels do you have? What avenues?
Well, we are working on our website.
Okay.
Do you know what the website will be called, or?
Abubai is leading on that.
Domain name for
Abubai is
this?
leading on that.
We're going to call it around end of life something.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, so you don't know that yet?
And when will people be able to see when this website is up?
As soon
or what
as
it's called?
we get registered.
That's
for the
right.
charity.
We're waiting. Basically, we're waiting
waiting
for
your
the charity
registration.
registration to be complete.
Yeah.
Once the charity registration is complete, then we can work better.
We need a web designer as well.
We need a
if
web
anybody's
designer if
listening.
If
anybody
anybody is
can
watching
help us.
and you're a web designer and
Yeah.
you'd like to help out, please do call in or contact them on their Facebook page, which is End of Life Support.
You can also email us if you want to just tell us the email.
endoflife01@gmail.com.
And I can give you my number, and you can give your number. My number is 07894 813 372. Please do send me a text, WhatsApp me if you have any interest, and you can give your number as well.
You don't want to do that?
No, I can't. I don't know my number.
Shall I read it out?
No.
That's fine.
Okay.
So the best method of contact, you would say, is your support page on Facebook. Is that correct?
That's right.
And if volunteers want to get in touch, is that the best method that they will use?
They can email us or
Email
they
us,
can
yeah.
go, the numbers, they contact us through numbers.
I mean, personally, I think a lot of people will want to help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They will.
Because
They just need to
this
find-
is something that affects the whole community, not even the whole community. This is something that affects every
Everybody.
single person on the face of the planet. So it is a very touching.
And if
touching
anybody
subject.
wants to come and see us, you can come and see us in our office,
Whereabouts are you based?
which is number 8 to 14 Great Torek Street, London E1.
Rhetoric Street. Okay.
Yeah, that's just opposite LMC, behind the Islamic Bank of Britain.
Yeah,
Great
yeah,
Torek,
yeah.
14.
yeah, Great Torek's Business Center.
And have you got
Yeah, we have our office there, G4.
G4 is the
G4
office.
is the office.
Okay, so it's
yeah.
called G4.
Yeah,
We
feel
just
free.
took the office last week.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. So
Russian.
are you
So-
renovating at the moment? or-
We've
We've
done,
done
You've
most
done
of the work.
renovation.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Okay, so you've got a base to operate from now.
Yes,
So
yes.
I mean, it's looking very positive. You're getting your website coming. You've got a base going. Inshallah, it goes very well. And what will happen is you'll be updating people on your Facebook, won't you,
Yes,
as these things are coming on.
I would suggest that you get on, you get onto other forms of social media as well. Twitter, LinkedIn, and stuff like that. It will help put you out there. Yeah, and as I say, we would be happy to support you. Now, in terms of this work, obviously, this must take up a tremendous amount of your time. Because one of the things that you mentioned earlier, which I heard, was you don't want somebody that's going to just wake up one morning and just decide, oh, I'm going to do the charity work for that day, and then miss it for another month, and then decide another day. You want people that are looking to give. I mean, how many hours a week would you suggest? Would you be looking for somebody to give to you?
The service that we provide is qualitative in nature. It's person-centered. It's a model.
Yeah.
So I think we're looking for 2 hours a week.
Okay. Sure.
And a minimum commitment of 5 months to 6 months, actually.
Okay. No, that's fine. I mean, how do you guys find juggling, everything that you do, your daily, obviously you've got a family life, you've got a work life, and then you've got all of this on top. It must be absolutely hectic, no?
I find it's extremely rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
Not wasting my time.
No, of
I'm
course.
helping my family.
Yeah.
I get my family, my children involved. Take my wife to some of those visits because as a male, you don't want to go and visit a female who's sick. We have female volunteers. I really depend on some of them. We provide a lot of support, by the way. If a person who's dealing with somebody who's very unwell and dying, we provide a lot of one-to-one. Even myself, I actually go to the helpers, who help me, and I go to them for advice and support because it can be a bit hard.
Sure. And how many volunteers do you have at the moment?
I would say around from 40 to 50.
50, yes.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's very well. And this is because obviously I tried to Google search you and I couldn't actually find you. So this is people that how have you recruited these people? How have they communicated with you? How they find out about you?
Is it word of mouth?
When we sent out the appeals in our texts and WhatsApp and Facebook,
yeah.
a lot of them have contacted us back and helped out, and they wanted to support us in this work.
Can I also add, a lot of our volunteers, I think I mentioned it earlier, they also took the initiative to get in touch because they all have personal experiences.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is such an issue where it's only when you have some experience and then you realize that how rewarding it is and how important it is to get in touch. So yes, volunteers, they got in touch with us, many of them with their own will.
Whenever we send out an appeal, we put our Facebook page, we put our email, and we put our number. So that's how.
Okay, so that's how they will get in touch with you.
Yeah.
This is your leaflets as well, is it?
We don't. It's to save cost. We don't produce leaflets.
Sure. No. That's understandable. Obviously,
that's fine.
being a charity. Now, how difficult is it? Because, I can imagine that it must be very taxing emotionally, having to sit with somebody who is terminally ill. Does it drain you physically or emotionally?
Sorry, you mentioned earlier that you do go home and cry a few times. Now, obviously, that must be a massive burden for you to be crying. So, what is it that triggers this?
Well, with the one particular sister,
not meaning to obviously detract from your manliness.
No. It's a human thing.
Yeah.
It's okay. You have to, there's issues around bereavement.
Sure. No, of course.
So you have to really. That's part of being a human. So when we went to the hospice and we saw the sister passing away, so we read the Quran, being supportive, we bought the food, but the moment came when I saw all her family are Christians. Now, when I saw a young son crying over his dead mother, I pictured it, and I looked at myself when my mum died. That was a very sad moment for me, and I actually went home. I was strong for them, but then I went home and I recalled that moment and I cried. I thought about my mum, made dua for her, and but to get that support at that moment, you need support to bounce off. So what I do, I've got a few close friends. That some of them have become very close to me. Okay. Maybe they don't realize, but I actually depend on them for their support and advice because it's very hard.
Yeah.
I'm a very proactive person. I used to run a youth organization for 10, 12 years now, Usmani Trust. And so I'm very proactive. But when it comes to this, you need to bounce off. You need to get your support in order to provide a good service.
So of course you need your own support while you are giving the support, basically, isn't it?
And of course my wife and my family really they play a big role in playing helping me out.
Sure. Would you mind if I was to ask you, how much money have you raised so far in all of the work that you've been doing, charity work? How much have you raised so far? Or do you raise it for individual cases, case by case basis? How do you do that?
Well, every time, of course, we have our appeals. Our finance person not here, so I can't give you the exact figure because we have a finance person.
Sure.
But I think we raised about. I can't give you an exact figure. Actually, I can't You know, I don't have the figure in my head, but to give you an example, we have so far done eight funerals.
Mashallah.
Yeah, and it was all.
I mean,
It was all through.
that was going to be my next question.
What happens? Sorry, when we have an appeal, we try to partner up with the family, with the friends, end of life support. So we don't take we take the responsibility of supporting wherever support needs to happen. So you're somebody close to you die. We don't say we come along and we'll do everything.
Sure.
We allow you to do everything, and wherever there's a support required. So sometimes it doesn't have to be financial. It can be just being there.
Sure.
Other time we have full financial need, and we send out the appeal. And one of the things we say, if there are any surplus funds, we'll put it over for the next needy person. So far, alhamdulillah, it's worked out in that way.
Yeah, and also helping through the process as well, you know, through the funeral process. So,
I mean, look, a lot of our viewers might not know this. I personally don't know this. I mean, how much does a funeral cost?
Okay. Within that community, I know about this. I did basically at this very moment, and somebody who's able, who's well off, it will cost them in Garden of Peace around about 3,600.
Wow.
That is around about £800 for the funeral service and 2,600 for the land. Now, this is a problem. You know, probably when we die, our funeral costs probably with inflation will probably go to 6, 7, 800, 8,000, 10,000.
Obviously, the land is
shortage.
Is running out. So therefore, the value of it is going to increase.
Let's say, for example, the Jewish community who are similar to us, they go with burial as well, and some Christian communities. So what they do, they invest in land. What we need to do, if we see there is a problem, we need to start investing in land and think ahead. We need to come out of this culture of, oh, this is not home, we're going to go back to Bangladesh or Pakistan, wherever. This is home. We need to start thinking along this way. We are thinking along this way as well.
That's right.
And we need to subsidize the cost. There are some funeral services that we've negotiated on behalf, then they've subsidized it. For the needy people, so it comes down to 1,500 sometimes.
That's very, very
and is there, because I am aware that the government does give some kind of a donation towards burial costs.
They make a grant for needy people, so the deceased person cannot apply. It has to be a next of kin, son or daughter, and for them to be entitled to that, they have to be on benefits. Now, the system.
So it's only somebody on benefits
that
correct. Can apply.
So it doesn't work. It doesn't work for, let's say, Bangladeshis or Muslims, because why? That person has to be, while you're making the application, person has to be in the morgue. It takes between 2 to 4 weeks. So your dead has to be in the fridge for.
I understand. 2 to 4 weeks.
Whereas with Muslims, they have to be buried
as soon as possible.
Can I also add something? Correct me if I'm wrong. Last time I saw a leaflet, Health Burial Fund grant, and it was like 200 and something pound.
So that's the help they were offering.
Yeah.
The government.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was one of the local authority leaflets, and I was thinking, no, it's costing people 3.5K.
I've heard that they offer half, but I could be mistaken. So
as far as I
don't know.
Well, in some boroughs, like we spoke about Tower Hamlets, the mayor of Tower Hamlets, he's actually subsidizing the burial. So I don't live in Tower Hamlets, so I don't enjoy this subsidy. Where people in Tower Hamlets, the burial cost is reduced by the mayor. Mayor Lutfur Rahman, he understands community issues. That's why I support him, because he understands educational issues and burial issues. And I think there's going to be more that will be happening in that light. I think we need to do campaigns.
Sure.
That somebody who's needy, you need to plan their welfare benefits before they die, so we can. But that's one of many issues that we need to deal with.
I mean, hopefully, if Tower Hamlets, what the initiative they've taken, if that if once that is done, I think the cost is going to come down to about £800-900 or something.
I mean,
Right.
we are coming.
yeah.
So we are coming now to the end of the show. You know, mashallah, it has been lovely speaking with you guys. I've actually learned quite a lot. You know,
It's a
sitting
very
here.
interesting topic.
It has.
And a very sensitive topic as well to speak about.
Well,
Yeah, of course.
thank you for giving us.
I mean,
Thank you for all that.
what I would like to say to you guys is, somebody that's thinking about becoming a volunteer for your organization, what would you say to these people to encourage them to help you, first of all? And secondly, you have covered, how people can get involved, but if you would like to say that again, you just speak to the viewers. They're your viewers.
You go first.
Well, what I would like to say is those who wants to get involved, first of all, the first thing is that you need to be sure this is exactly what you want to do, because it's not your regular job.
Mm-hmm.
It's a commitment.
It is a commitment. These are very sensitive areas. You will be dealing with very vulnerable people, families during difficult times.
Okay.
So you need to, mentally prepared also to face that. Okay. So if once you've done that, we have some training programs. So get in touch with us through our email, Facebook, contact numbers, and inshallah we'll do what we can to help you to get you on board.
Right.
Can I just say, if anybody is interested in helping doesn't have to be becoming a befriender.
Yeah.
You can help with website design, legal ways.
Yep.
Many ways you can help. You can donate. Contact us. You End of Life Support, Facebook. I've got my number out. It's 07434 50 55 91.
Say that again.
Yes.
And I repeat again, 07434 50 55 91. And the last thing that you can do, we've made a commitment that we're going to go and help the needy and vulnerable. One of the best ways that you can help is contact us to help somebody who's needy.
MashaAllah.
Yeah.
Baysab, thank you very much, Mohsin Bey and Abu Bey, for appearing on our show. Thank you very much to Shakil for accompanying me on the sofa today. If you would like to get in touch with these brothers, it is endoflife01@gmail.com. They are doing a fantastic...
They've also got the End of Life Support on Facebook. That's their main outlet.
Do contact these guys. They are providing a fantastic service. Thank you very much to our callers for calling in. Your calls were much appreciated. Inshallah, we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you very much, and Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.